You need more than parental monitoring to keep your kids safe online. In fact, sometimes the parental monitoring that you have on your kids' devices is keeping them unsafe online. It's actually making them a target online. Let's talk about it. Hey, I'm CyberFareedah. I'm an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 online safety educator helping you protect your kids online. There's this misconception that if you have parental monitoring on your kids' devices, then that means you know everything that's going on and you're able to protect them from all the things that are happening on the internet. That's false. It's false because every single day, some kid somewhere around the world figures out a way to circumvent parental monitoring, to go to somebody's house and view something that they can't view on their phone, or to buy a new phone, or to do whatever it takes to not be monitored by their parents. This is why you have to implement something called holistic online safety. I'll talk about that towards the end of this video. Also, one thing that many parents know, you probably know this, is that even if you have a parental monitoring software, it does not mean that they're able to monitor all of the applications, all of the websites, all of the devices in the way that works best for your family. Now, of course, there are benefits to parental monitoring. You can see what is going on your kids' devices, who is texting them, what are the texts about. You can intervene if something is happening, be aware of the type of activity that's going on, whether it's on their social media or their gaming or their devices. And generally, it gives you an awareness of your kids' environment so that you can step in whenever needed and you can build a safer environment for them in the household or in the online space in general. But there is a dark side to monitoring your kids online, and I'm going to need you to understand that before you install parental monitoring, or even if you already have, this is good for you to understand as a high-level overview. Number one, every single thing is hackable. I've recently sent out an alert talking about how some parental controls and parental monitoring companies are not taking security and privacy and safety seriously. They do not have their systems that store your kids' information actually safe and secure. So if someone were to go and hack into them, their servers or their applications, they're able to get that information that you do not want a hacker or predator to have. And a lot of parents wrote back to me and they're like, oh my God, I never even thought of a parental monitoring company or parental control company having all of this information about my kids. And if they don't take security seriously or they don't take privacy seriously, they either selling that information or they get hacked and that information is now in the hands of a hacker. This honestly is a dark side of the internet in general. Any online account, anything that you have will be hacked. It just really depends on what information is being hacked, what is being done about it once a hack happens. So you have to think to yourself, is this company going to protect my kids? Now, the thing is, we never know until we know. So you have to be prepared for that ever happening and being okay with those ramifications. This also means that whatever security, privacy, and safety features that they allow you to have inside of your account, the parental control, parental monitoring account, you must turn that on, because you don't want to be that point where the company has their security and safety all pretty much good to go, but your account is wide open because you're using the same password, and so a hacker is able to get into that and monitor your kids. I always say that if you're monitoring your kids, chances are someone else is able to monitor your kids as well. Now, a big problem with parental monitoring is balancing or harmonizing the privacy and the safety aspect. One thing that allows you to understand that parental monitoring is definitely not enough to protect your kids online. It is not a set it and forget it. You can't just start operating it and you're good to go. You have to have consistent, open, non-judgmental conversations with your kids. Otherwise, that parental monitoring system is going to become a point of a lot of tension in your household. And it's already something that even if your kid is like a really trustworthy kid and they're totally fine, some kids, or many kids to be honest, there's a very few amount of kids who are like, I'm totally fine with it, I don't care. But there are some kids who are like, even though I'm not doing anything, I feel like my privacy is being violated. I feel like if when my friend tells me something about their life, that my parents can see it, and that's going against their privacy. There are parental monitoring companies that say that they don't show parents exactly what's happening. They only give parents alerts to what certain things that may be red flag. That is one of the issues in terms of just setting and forgetting parental monitoring without a thought process of how does this affect me as a parent? How does that affect my my kids? Is it going to make my kids more sneaky? Are they going to lose trust in me? One thing I do want to say, and I really want to stress this, is that not all parental monitoring companies have your best interest at heart. If a parental monitoring company is allowing you to hack into your kids' devices and it has like how to hack into your kids' device, or how can you install this app on stealth mode so your kids don't see that you have it, that is a red flag, and you never, ever, ever, ever want to install a parental monitoring app that is encouraging you to have sneaky and sly behavior with your kids. You're supposed to be the role model for your kids, so if you're doing that to your kids, you're not setting a good example. You're having mistrust in the relationship. They're not going to be able to confide in you, and that is the worst thing possible for the online space, because your kids need to be able to speak to someone, especially their parent, especially an adult that cares about them, that loves them, as they navigate the space. Otherwise, I mean, my gosh, what is the parental monitoring for? You need more than just an app that you put onto your kids' devices. You need a holistic, big picture view of understanding what it really means to protect your kids in the digital age. When I say that you need more than parental monitoring to protect your kids online, I mean that before you install something, or even if you already install something, think critically about your decision to install it. Is this a good company? Do they pride themselves in communication and great relationship with your kids? Or are they that type of company that says we're a spying device? And so let me give you a little hint. Some of the companies have spy in their name, or their mission statement or their tagline has spying on your kids, or going to stealth mode in your kid's phone. That should never, ever, ever, ever be the language on their website. It should not be the language in their promotion. It should never be there, because it always takes a healthy, open, and honest communication and loving relationship with your kids to actually protect them online. Another thing is that parental monitoring is not for everyone, and I strongly believe that it is not for every family. Not every kid, not every family needs parental monitoring. There are certain online safety educators or people who are in the safety space that they will say that every single family must have parental monitoring, otherwise you're leaving your kids out for predators, and I respect their decision. I respect their choices to have that. However, I vehemently disagree with it. And the reason why is because every kid and every family is different. What you believe may work for one family is not going to work for the other. For one family, that's going to drift the relationship apart. That's going to create a lot of tension. That's going to create kids that are really, really sneaky, kids that do not confide in their parents, kids that don't feel safe with their parents or safe in their household, and they go and do some crazy sugar nicey behind your back, and you don't even know it. You have nothing. You think they're goody two-shoes, but in fact, they are off doing God knows what. So for some families, parental monitoring does not work, and they solely use parental controls. Some families, you might find that parental monitoring works all the way into a certain age. So once they reach their late or early teens, you have decided we're not doing any parental monitoring. Now you're a young adult. You're going to be able to, we're going to be your guide. You're going to navigate the online space. If we see something that's concerning or you have really bad behavior, then we're going to have to put some parental monitoring to help you out. But this is something that we're going to stop at a certain age. That's totally fine. I am of the belief system that if you're going to put parental monitoring, it's best when your kids are younger, because they are not younger adults. They don't need as much freedom and as much autonomy and privacy as they do as they get older. But again, I am not here to argue with nobody, okay? So if you believe for your family that you're going to monitor your kids until they reach 18 years old or until they leave the house, then by all means do that. But when you do that, be sure to never, ever make parental monitoring the foundation of protecting your kids online. You must have a relationship with your kids, talk to your kids, heal yourself, go to therapy for yourself, make a safe space for yourself and your kids if you really want parental monitoring to actually work the way that you want to. Controlling your kids or seeing everything that they're doing is not going to help you. What's going to happen when you monitor your kids? They don't know you're monitoring them. You see a bad behavior, and now you have to talk to them about behavior, but they didn't even know you're monitoring them in the first place. That's a recipe for disaster. I'm gonna tell you right now. Not only do you have the conversation to try to correct the behavior, but now you have to try to repair the relationship that's broken because you have broken their trust. That is the one thing that you do not want to do. So again, it takes more than parental monitoring to protect your kids online. You have to put a little more thought into it instead of just set it and forget it. Now, I have 2 videos that illustrates my point in terms of protecting your kids online holistically. I have one video, if you have not seen it, is talking about why parental controls are bad and why they only work in certain environments. I talked about it a bit over here, but I delved a little bit deeper in this video. And then my next video, or the video if you did not already see that, is holistic online safety and what it is.